What's up, guys? Clarence Lee Jr. here, author of the upcoming book Persist and creator of the Impact, Purpose, and Destiny seminar series. And I'm talking about fear. These next 4 weeks, I'm gonna be talking about fear. Last week, we talked about how to crush it. Now I'm gonna talk about why fear is actually good. You say, oh, are you talking about crushing it last week? Now you're gonna tell me fear is good? Yes. Fear is good. And the number one reason fear is good is because it is a guide. So what do I mean by that? It is a guide that shows us or points out specific areas where we need to grow, or specific areas where we've got some ways to go, or when areas where we aren't confident. And so it points out, or it shows us where we need to grow. So if you have a growth mindset, and I've done videos on growth mindset. If you are of a growth mindset, then you're going to want to grow or improve in specific areas. And so your fear is really going to show you those specific areas where you need to grow. So the great thing about fear is that it is a guide. As long as we know how to bust down fear and we aren't worried about it paralyzing us, we can appreciate the fear and say, okay, I've got an area where I need to grow. Let me move toward doing something to overcome that piece, okay? Or let me move toward growing in that area. And you can base a lot of that in fear. So, I teach to draw towards your fear, because if you draw towards your fear is actually telling you where you need to go. Your success is just on the other side of your greatest fear. So you have to attack your fear, because that is where your greatest success is going to be. And that rolls into the next point. And the next point is the feeling of success once you beat or bust down a barrier of fear in your life. It is like no other. Every one of us have had a situation in our lives where we initially were scared to do it, and then we stepped out there and did it, and it was great, amazing, fun, and we shared that story with other people of this, this sense of victory and overcoming something. And that only happens when you have a true, genuine fear. And that's individual, okay? So that's per person. It's not going to be the same for every person. So this person may have a fear of public speaking, and they get up there and they do it, and that sense of exhilaration and overcoming that is very specific to that person. This other person may have a fear of rock climbing, and they get up there and rock climb, and it gives them so much confidence because they attacked that wall and they went up that wall and they did it. They overcame that fear and they felt great about it, okay? So fear is also a gateway to this exhilarating feeling of accomplishment when you've crushed it. So fear is not completely bad. I actually think that it is good. And the last piece is, and obviously I am really big on sharing your story and encouraging other people. That's why I'm here. That is my main purpose in life, is to use my life, use stories from my life, use situations from my life, gain knowledge from other people, and share that to help other people crush barriers and encourage them. And so the last piece with this is why fear is good, is because when you overcome fear, you are now positioned specifically to encourage somebody else to crush that same fear. So nobody's going to tell. If you've already busted the fear, if you already removed that fear from your life, now you have the power, the strength to go and share with somebody else. Say, hey, you can bust that fear down too, dude. Don't worry about it. Let me show you what I did. This is how I took care of it, right? So, and that only happens when you have a story of triumph, or you have a story of overcoming a fear. So fear is a good thing, because once you overcome it, it gives you the capacity or the ability to now help somebody else overcome that exact same fear. So the next time you have a fear come up in your life, say, you know what? Hey, I'm thankful for that. That's an area I need to grow in. You know what? Let me put a curriculum in place. Let me put some stuff in place. Let me read a book about overcoming that. Let me put some strategies every day. I'm going to work toward busting that fear. And then once I break that fear down, I'm going to go and share that story about how I overcame that and how that held me back at one point, but how it doesn't hold me back anymore. Fear is an amazing thing if you can harness it. Harness its energy. And so I love energy. I love this idea of energy. I think all of us have an energy that we bring to the world. All of us have an energy that we bring to the room. All of us have a presence, and that presence can be described in energy. And so fear has an energy. And it's been written about a lot about how certain animals can sense fear, or how a person can sense fear. And you say, well, how do they sense fear? Because fear has an energy. And so the idea is, as we're moving to break barriers or overcome fear, we harness that energy. The energy is there. Harness it. Use that energy then to propel you forward. Use that fear's energy, right? Use that energy that comes with fear. Make a determination on how you're going to move forward, breaking that fear down, right? Or overcoming that fear. But use that energy and harness that into your efforts to overcome it. So I hope this video was very, very helpful for you, talking about the good aspects of fear, how it is actually as a guide to tell us where we need to go, how it gives us this exhilarating feeling once we overcome it, and how it also positions us uniquely to encourage other people to overcome their fears. So get out there, attack a fear, help somebody else overcome their fear. Share in the chat roll, in the comments below, what you think about this content, and also, what are some of the fears that you have. Share with your friends, family, anybody that you think will be encouraged from this message. I would encourage you or challenge you to share this over to them, and you guys start a conversation about fear this week.